Now that we have Neo completed, I'll show you how to easily arrive at an agent model by making slight modifications to Neo. First, load the Neo model we created in the previous chapter. What we need to do now is flip the model horizontally like this. The agents in the matrix don't wear any hats, so we're going to navigate through the hierarchy and we're going to delete the cap from Neo's head. Once you've deleted this cap, you'll be left with the bald character. We now need to create his hair. Select the Add Polyline tool. This tool allows you to create sharp edge shapes by simply clicking the points you want. You'll notice that there is no rounding effect. This is due to the fact that the points you create when using this tool have no manipulation handles. Close the line when you're satisfied with how the hair looks. Now that we have our polyline, click on the Sweep tool to sweep it out into a 3D shape. Now switching to the left view, we see where the shape lies. We first center the axis using the Move Axis to Center of Object tool, and we start to resize the shape. It has to be rotated slightly in order to intersect the model at the right locations. We will be using the Boolean tools on it in just a few steps to create the hair for our agent. Switch to the perspective view so that you can see the leading face, and bring up the Point Edit tools and select it. We're going to move this face over to the left, so the top edge, representing the hairline, intersects the model right above the eyes and glasses. Be sure not to place it too high on the model. You don't want your agent to have a receding hairline now, do you? Once you feel it's in the right location, navigate through the hierarchy again and use Ctrl-C to make a copy of the sphere that represents the head. Click on Boolean Subtract and then click the shape. You'll see that it's cut out of the sphere. Resize the sphere proportionately so that it's a little larger than the head and center the axis on it. Since all the agents in the movie had black hair, we now bring up the material editor and use the Paint Object tool to color the entire shape a dark black color. All we need to do now is to glue this newly created hair to the head. Be sure you first select the head and then glue the hair to it. If not, when you animate the head, the hair won't move with it. A quick render shows how the hair looks on the model. Next up would be the agent's suit. First of all, agents don't have buttons like Stan, so we're going to select these buttons and remove them like this. For this next step, it's easier to switch to one of the semi-transparent view modes. Bring up the material editor and select Paint Face. We can use this tool to paint only the relevant faces on an object. Right-click here and select the Reset All option to bring the properties back to normal. Now we're going to use this white color and paint a few of the faces in the front of the model. As you can see, this gives the effect that the agent is wearing a jacket over his white shirt, just like in the movie. Now that we're done coloring the white shirt, rotate the agent back to a vertical position by right-clicking and dragging on the rotational control. Now reset the view and rotate it so that you get a good look at the front of the model. So as not to bore you with endless modeling of simple objects, I went ahead and modeled the tie separately, and we'll load it now. We're also going to color the tie a similar black, because it has to match the suit. Once again, we use the Paint Object tool. The tie simply started out as a thin cube. I used the Sweep tool on one of the faces multiple times, and then edited the size of each sweep accordingly to end up with a shape similar to this one. As you can see, also the tie is in a flat shape, which doesn't conform to the curvature of the agent's body. Don't worry about this. We'll be using the Deform tool in a few steps to correct this problem. Make sure that you position the tie appropriately, and then you resize it down to the right length and width to match the area we drew earlier. Once you feel the tie is in the right place, switch to the left-hand view. We're going to be using the Deform tool to make the tie match the body. Click on the Deform tool, and then select the option to deform by a plane perpendicular to the y-axis. We're going to use the Rotate tool on both ends like this. The Deform tool is very useful when you need to change the shape of specific parts of an object and have the surrounding area follow your movements. As opposed to the Point Edit tools, deforming a part of an object stretches and bends local geometry, as can be seen here. Once it matches sufficiently, switch to the front view. Just like we glued the hair to the head, the tie has to be glued specifically to the body. Wireframe views are always helpful when you need to do this. When done, render the scene and take a look at the finished model. Uh-oh, looks like our agent is smiling. Have you ever seen an agent smile in the Matrix? I didn't think so. Let's fix that by rotating the smile 180 degrees and turning it into a slight frown. Like you've seen earlier, right-clicking and dragging on the rotational controls is a very easy way to rotate an object in 90-degree increments. Once the smile has been rotated, give the scene another render, and we see that the agent is now finished.